Poet Robert Southey was born in 1774 and passed away in 1843. He was born in Bristol, England. He was a romantic poet who wrote epics, ballets, sonnets, lyrics, plays, travelogues, etc. He was a poet laureate of England from 1813 to 1843. The Story of the Three Bears, which is original Goldilocks story, published in his prose collection named The Doctor. Let's see the central idea of the Inchcape Rock. The poem Inchcape Rock is a ballet which describes a supernatural event but builds on the idea that people who sin will be punished and a sense of poetic justice will be administered. The narrative is built on the legend of the Inchcape Rock, a sandstone reef about 18 km off the coast of Angus, Scotland. The rock was infamous for knocking down many ships, taking away the lives of numerous mariners. So, to warn the mariners, the benevolent abbot of Aberbrothock tied a bell on a buoy next to the rock. However, the wicked, sadistic, jealous pirate Sir Ralph cut the bell out of envy and jealousy, leading to his own terrible doom and death. This poetic justice reflects on the proverb, "Evil digs a pit for other, but falls into the same. And as you sow, so shall you reap." No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was as still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape bell. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. When the rock was hid by surge's swell, the mariners heard the warning bell. And then they knew the perilous rock and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. The sun in the ocean was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round, and there was joyance in their sound. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the rover walked his deck, and he fixed his eyes on the darker speck. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. His eye was on Inchcape float. Quoth he, "My men, put out the boat, and row me to the Inchcape Rock, and I will plague the abbot of Aberbrothock." The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he cut the Inchcape float. Down sung the bell with gurgling sound, the bubbles rose and burst around. Quoth Sir Ralph the rover, "The next who comes to the rock won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothock." Sir Ralph the rover sailed away, he scoured the seas for many a day. And now grown rich with plundered store, he steers his course for Scotland's shore. So thick a haze overspreads the sky, they cannot see the sun on high. The wind hath blown gale all day, at evening it hath died away. On the deck the rover takes his stand, so dark it is they see no land. Quoth Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of rising moon. Canst hear, said one, the breakers roar? For methinks we should be near the shore. Now where we are I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell. They hear no sound, the swell is strong, though the wind hath fallen, they drift apart. Till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock, O Christ, it is the Inchcape rock. Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair, he cursed himself in his despair. The waves rush in every side, the ship is sinking beneath the tide. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rover hear. A sound as if with the Inchcape bell, the devil below was ringing his knell. So, the conclusion of this ballet is, thus Sir Ralph the rover gets punishment for his sinful works. Robert Southey is a poet who always delivers a teaching through his poems. This too is not an exception. Let's see the glossary. Many Old English words are also used in this poem. Stir, it means movement. Sails, cloth on the mast of the ship which propels it. Keel, anchor, the base structure of a ship. Gay, happy. Wheeled round, here in this poem it means to fly in circles in the sky. The seagulls were wheeling round the ship. Joyance, that is happiness. Haze, thin mist. Cheering, encouraging. Mirth, it means great joy. Speck, tiny dot. Koth, this is an Old English word, it means said. Plague, it is a disease, but here it means cause pain and trouble to someone. Hath, again Old English word, it means has. Gale, a violent storm. Scurred, here it means travelled freely. Plundered store, it means looted wealth. Canst, again Old English word for can't. Cursed, it means cursed. Despair, complete loss of hope. Dreadful, frightening. Drift, move slowly. Knell, the sound of the bell rung solemnly after death or funeral announcements of death. Now see, poem comprises of 17 quatrains, that is stanza of 4 lines. And the same rhyme scheme runs in all the stanzas, and that is A, B, B. First 2 lines rhyme and third and fourth lines rhyme together. Now let's proceed to critical appreciation. The poem The Inchcape Rock is Robert Southey's famous ballet, which describes a supernatural event and builds on the idea that people who sin will be punished and a sense of poetic justice will be administered. A poet laureate of England, Robert Southey was a romantic poet known for his epics, ballet, sonnets, etc. Epic is a long story. Like we have our Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ballet, we have seen a narrative, a poem with a narrative or a story. Sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. So Robert Southey has written in almost all the formats of literature. The title of the poem explicitly covers the idea of main narrative, which is built on the legend of the Inchcape Rock, a sandstone reef about 18 kilometers off the coast of Angus, Scotland, famously known for causing shipwrecks, claiming the lives of numerous mariners. The poem is a folkloric verse narrative. Folklore means the story which is there in our culture, which is handed over to us by word of mouth from our grandparents to parents, from parents to us. As the poet uses the renowned folk character Abbot of Aberbrothock, who places a bell on a buoy near the Inchcape Rock. The bell would thus warn the ships of the presence of the Inchcape Rock. The main theme of the poem revolves around jealousy and the administration of poetic justice for crime. The jealousy of the pirate Sir Ralph makes him cut the bell tied to the buoy. He then goes on plundering many ships and traveling many seas for many years. In his return journey to Scotland, he encounters a storm and gets hit by the Inchcape Rock. His ship sinks, his men die, and he, while drowning, hears the bell ringing his own death knell. The poem is a dramatic ballet, verse narrative with 17 quatrains. It also contains strong visual and sound imagery, symbolism and anaphora, that is repeated chorus giving a musical effect to the poem. The consistent rhyme scheme of AABB also adds to the musical quality. So these are the technical things about the poem. The poem uses figures of speech such as onomatopoeia, personification, metaphor, antithesis, etc. The poem has a simple yet powerful universal message that as you sow, so shall you reap. Now let's talk about your personal opinion. You have to put it in critical appreciation. So I like the visual imagery used by the poet as it describes the calmness of the sea and the beauty of the skyline to engage the readers. Also, the sound imagery used by the ballet augments its overall impact. In conclusion, the poet effectively drives across the essence of the moral: those who dig a pit for others fall into it themselves. Now that's it for this video. Rest of the things about the poem, that is figures of speech in detail, creative writing and some miscellaneous things, I will cover in next video. Till then, take care, be healthy, be happy. Bye-bye.